For over 2 decades, the sound of a gavel and the sharp voice of a no-nonsense judge filled millions of homes across America. That judge was none other than Judith Sheindlin, better known to the world as Judge Judy. With her piercing stare, razor-sharp tongue, and unwavering commitment to common-sense justice, she not only ruled her courtroom, but became a pop culture icon. From 1996 to 2021, she presided over small claims with big emotions, captivating an audience that spanned generations. But as we step into 2025, the question arises, where is Judge Judy now? This is not just a simple update on a television personality. This is the story of a woman who redefined courtroom television and became one of the highest-paid entertainers on earth, only to walk away at the top of her game and continue shaping the conversation around justice, media, and American values. At 82 years old, Judge Judy hasn't faded into quiet retirement. Far from it. She's expanded her presence across new platforms, launched fresh projects, and continues to influence public discourse in surprising ways. In this exclusive in-depth look at where Judge Judy is in 2025, we'll explore her career evolution, personal life, wealth, new projects, and the legacy she continues to build. From a Manhattan family court judge to a streaming powerhouse on Amazon's Freevee and Prime Video, Judy Sheindlin's career is not just a testament to television success. It's a reflection of staying relevant in a rapidly changing world. Her face may no longer be a daily fixture on network television, but her voice, her presence, and her gavel still echo loudly. Before we dive into what she's doing today, let's rewind for a moment. Judy Sheindlin was born in 1942 in Brooklyn, New York. She earned her law degree from New York Law School and began her career as a corporate lawyer. But it wasn't until she became a family court judge in Manhattan that her no-nonsense approach began catching national attention. Known for her brutally honest, fast-paced courtroom demeanor, she caught the eye of 60 Minutes, and soon after, producers gave her a platform that would change her life forever and redefine television court shows. Her syndicated courtroom show, Judge Judy, debuted in 1996 and became an instant hit. It wasn't just legal drama. It was real people, real cases, and real rulings that had audiences glued to their screens. She cut through nonsense with a single look. She became meme-worthy before memes existed. And while many court shows came and went, Judge Judy lasted an astonishing 25 seasons. By the time she ended the show in 2021, she had presided over more than 12,500 episodes. Her earnings had skyrocketed. In fact, during its final seasons, Judy was earning a reported $47 million per year, making her the highest-paid TV personality in the world. With ratings that often outpaced daytime talk shows and even some prime-time programs, Judge Judy wasn't just a show, it was an institution. So when Judy Sheindlin finally brought Judge Judy to a close in 2021, it left fans wondering what could possibly come next. Would she retire? Would she fade from the spotlight? Would she retreat to a quiet life in one of her luxurious homes? As we'll see in the coming chapters, the answer was a resounding no. In 2025, Judge Judy is not only still active, she's continuing to evolve. She's launched new series, broken into streaming platforms, and even taken on the role of historical analyst and legal educator in her latest production. Her reach now extends beyond traditional court TV into documentary filmmaking and legal commentary. She is once again proving what made her legendary in the first place, an ability to command attention, spark conversation, and hold power accountable. But to understand where she is now, we need to explore how she made that transition from Judge Judy to her current projects, and how she's stayed on top in an entertainment landscape that has shifted dramatically in just a few short years. In the next chapter, we'll look at her journey from the end of her original series to the launch of her streaming courtroom revival Judy Justice and the bold new direction she's taken since then. If you thought Judge Judy was done, you're about to discover just how wrong that assumption was. When Judge Judy aired its final episode in July 2021, many assumed it was the end of an era. The courtroom queen had ruled the airwaves for a quarter of a century. Her exit left a void in daytime television that many thought could never be filled. But Judy Sheindlin had no intention of leaving her gavel behind. In fact, her next act was already in motion, and it would take her legacy to new heights on a whole new platform. Enter Judy Justice, a bold reinvention of her original show, this time tailor-made for the streaming age. The series premiered on November 1st, 2021, on Amazon's Freevee, formerly IMDb TV, and it marked a significant shift not just for Judge Judy, but for courtroom television in general. For the first time, one of the biggest names in syndicated TV was making the leap to a digital-first platform, signaling that Judy Sheindlin wasn't retiring. She was rebooting. Judy Justice retained the sharp, commanding voice fans loved, but the format received a notable upgrade. Gone were the familiar wooden courtroom and harsh fluorescent lights. In their place stood a sleek, more modern set, complete with new camera angles, improved production quality, and an expanded cast of courtroom personnel. But the most significant change? Judy wasn't alone anymore. This time around, she was joined by a new legal team, including her granddaughter, Sarah Rose, who served as the court's law clerk. A graduate of law school and someone who had long looked up to her famous grandmother, Sarah brought a youthful energy to the proceedings while also offering legal analysis. Her presence signaled something important. Judge Judy was thinking about legacy, not just in the cultural sense, but in a personal one, too. Also joining the cast was court stenographer Whitney Kumar and bailiff Kevin Rasko. Rasko replaced the long-beloved Petrie Hawkins Bird, Judy's sidekick for the entire run of Judge Judy. The decision to move forward without Bird sparked public controversy, especially given the loyalty fans felt toward him. Judy later explained that the new show represented a fresh start and she was aiming for a different vibe. Though some fans disagreed, Judy remained unapologetic. She had a vision for her new show and was determined to follow it. Judy Justice proved to be a hit. According to Amazon, the show became Freevee's most-watched original program in its early months. The streaming format allowed for longer episodes, often running 22 to 25 minutes compared to the 15 to 17-minute structure of Judge Judy. This extra time allowed Judy to dive deeper into each case, offering more detailed reasoning and legal explanation, something she had often been criticized for glossing over in her syndicated format. With fewer constraints on time and content, she could now fully unpack her rulings and showcase the legal logic behind them. More importantly, Judy Justice appealed to a younger audience, a demographic that had been steadily drifting away from traditional television. On streaming, Judy's sharp tongue and brutal honesty felt fresh again. Clips of the show began circulating on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, reigniting interest among millennials and Gen Z viewers. Judy Sheindlin had done something few could pull off. She had remained relevant, not by changing herself, but by understanding where the audience was going and meeting them there. Her deal with Amazon was reportedly massive, worth an estimated $25 million per year. And unlike in the traditional model of syndicated TV where she had to share profits with networks and distributors, this time, Judy had far more control. She served not only as the star, but also as an executive producer. The result was a show that retained her core identity while embracing the freedom of digital media. As of 2025, Judy Justice has aired multiple seasons and continues to maintain strong viewership. The courtroom is still filled with real cases, real plaintiffs and defendants, and real consequences. But now, it's also become a teaching tool. Judy takes time to explain legal terminology, address societal issues embedded in each case, and even correct misunderstandings about the justice system. The show has become not just a source of entertainment, but also a form of public education. Judy's fans have taken note. While her delivery remains as sharp as ever, Judy Justice has allowed viewers to see a more reflective side of her. She still calls out liars, lectures freeloaders, and silences disrespectful parties. But she also takes moments to uplift struggling litigants or praise young plaintiffs for their courage. There's a subtle shift from strictly dispensing judgment to mentoring, a natural evolution for someone who's seen thousands of lives pass through her courtroom. But Judy Justice was only the beginning. In 2023, Judy and her production company, Queen Bee Productions, launched Tribunal Justice, a brand new courtroom show with a twist, 3 judges presiding over each case. The format added drama and dimension, allowing for discussion and occasional disagreement among the panelists. While Judy didn't serve as a judge on the show herself, she played a key role as creator and executive producer. It was yet another example of her willingness to evolve the genre she helped define. Tribunal Justice introduced audiences to a trio of familiar faces from Judge Judy's past: Tanya Acker, Patricia DeMango, and Adam Levy. Their chemistry, sharp legal insight, and lively deliberations made the show a surprise hit. It aired alongside Judy Justice, creating a mini-empire of legal programming under Sheindlin's influence. By 2025, Judy Sheindlin is not just a television judge. She's an architect of courtroom storytelling for the streaming generation. Whether in front of the camera or behind the scenes, she continues to reshape how legal issues are presented, debated, and understood by the public. Her fans haven't just followed her, they've grown with her. Many who once watched Judge Judy with their parents are now tuning into Judy Justice and Tribunal Justice with their own kids. And that's perhaps the greatest proof of her enduring power, not just relevance, but generational impact. In the next chapter, we'll look at her newest and most daring project yet, Justice on Trial, a docuseries that breaks new ground by exploring historical legal cases and challenging viewers to reconsider their assumptions about justice itself. If Judge Judy was about ruling today's disputes, then Justice on Trial is Judy Sheindlin's chance to rewrite how we remember the past. In 2025, Judge Judy did something no one expected. She turned her courtroom lens away from present-day small claims and petty squabbles and instead focused it on some of the most controversial legal decisions in American history. Her new docuseries, Justice on Trial, debuted on Prime Video on July 21, 2025, and it has quickly become one of the most talked-about legal programs of the year, not just for its production value, but for the questions it raises about truth, fairness, and how the American justice system defines both. Unlike her previous programs, Justice on Trial doesn't feature real-life litigants pleading their case before Judge Judy. This time, she acts as narrator, analyst, and commentator, taking viewers on a journey through pivotal court cases that changed the legal landscape. Each episode reenacts a major case, often one steeped in controversy, and invites viewers to reconsider the evidence, context, and decisions made at the time. It's dramatic, thought-provoking, and deeply engaging. The 8-episode series takes a unique hybrid approach, blending dramatized reenactments with historical analysis and real-world commentary. Judy Sheindlin introduces each case, laying out the background, explaining why it matters, and then guiding the audience through the legal arguments that defined it. She is joined by a panel of legal scholars, former judges, defense attorneys, and even former defendants who weigh in on what happened, what should have happened, and what we can learn. The cases chosen are no accident. In Episode 1, viewers revisit Gideon v. Wainwright, the 1963 case that established a defendant's right to legal counsel, even if they can't afford one. Judy explores how that landmark ruling transformed criminal defense law in America and asks whether that promise is still being fulfilled today. In another episode, the spotlight turns to Snyder versus Phelps, a case involving freedom of speech and the right to protest at military funerals. Judy doesn't shy away from the uncomfortable implications of the ruling, instead asking hard questions about the line between civil liberty and human decency. Perhaps the most gripping episode is one that re-examines the 1995 criminal trial of O.J. Simpson, Though it isn't a Supreme Court case, it's arguably the most infamous criminal proceeding in American history. Judy carefully unpacks the prosecution's mistakes, the defense's strategies, and the racial tensions that define the trial. She refuses to issue a simplistic verdict, but instead challenges viewers to confront how race, celebrity, media, and wealth collided in the courtroom. But it's not all about high-profile cases. Some episodes focus on lesser-known decisions that had massive ripple effects, such as Kilo v. City of New London, a 2005 case about eminent domain that redefined property rights. In Justice on Trial, Judy uses these stories to show how legal rulings don't just affect those inside the courtroom, they shape everyday lives for decades. What makes the series so powerful is its underlying purpose: education. Judy isn't just telling stories. She's teaching civic understanding. Her tone is more measured than in her court shows, but no less authoritative. She explains legal principles with clarity and emotion, ensuring that even viewers without legal knowledge can follow along. The reenactments are high quality, performed by professional actors, and filmed with the kind of care you'd expect from a premium docuseries. One especially moving episode revisits Loving v. Virginia, the 1967 decision that struck down laws banning interracial marriage. Judy introduces the episode by reflecting on how far society has come and how far it still has to go. In her commentary, she notes that the law can change faster than hearts, but without the law leading the way, the hearts may never follow. This isn't just storytelling. It's a call to reflect, to question, and to engage. Judy Justice may not be ruling from the bench in this series, but she is certainly leading the conversation. And as always, she does it with honesty, conviction, and razor-sharp insight. There's also a subtle personal mission behind Justice on Trial. For decades, Judy Justice was seen primarily as an entertainer, a tough judge with a sharp tongue, and a massive paycheck. But Justice on Trial reminds us that she's also a former family court judge with deep legal expertise and a passion for justice. This series allows her to go beyond entertainment and return to her roots as an educator and reformer. In interviews promoting the series, Judy has emphasized her goal of getting Americans to care more about civics and the legal system. Too many people think the Constitution is a historical document that doesn't affect them, she told ABC News. But every ruling we examine in Justice on Trial has touched your life, whether you know it or not. It's a simple truth, and it cuts straight to the core of what makes the show so important. Justice on Trial has already sparked public debate. Social media is ablaze with discussions about the cases featured. Teachers are incorporating episodes into civics classes. Legal scholars have praised the show for making complex legal concepts accessible to the general public. Some critics have noted that the show occasionally leans into dramatization a bit heavily, but even they acknowledge its educational value and emotional power. Judy's role in the series is more than just that of host. She's the executive producer, meaning she had significant creative input into which cases were selected, how they were presented, and which experts were included. This is her project from start to finish, and it shows. Every episode bears her hallmark blend of rigor, clarity, and plain-spoken wisdom. The success of Justice on Trial marks a new chapter in Judy Justice's career. She's no longer just a courtroom television star. She's now a respected voice in the public understanding of law and policy. Her reach extends far beyond small claims and arbitration. She's now operating on the level of public discourse and historical analysis. This project also signifies something deeply human, a desire to leave behind something meaningful. Judy has said in multiple interviews that she hopes the series outlives her. I want young people to know that laws matter, that decisions made 50 years ago can shape the world they live in today, and I want them to care about how those decisions are made. At 82, Judy Justice has nothing left to prove. She's wealthy, famous, and revered. But in Justice on Trial, we see a different motivation. Not money, not ratings, but legacy. She's building a platform that goes beyond judgment and entertainment. One that elevates conversation, informs minds, and encourages critical thinking. In the next chapter, we'll step back from the spotlight and explore what life looks like, behind the scenes. We'll look at Judy's staggering net worth, her lavish lifestyle, and the quiet ways she's used her success to influence law, education, and social change. From private jets to mentorship programs, Judy Sheindlin's empire is as vast as it is impactful. As Judge Judy commands attention in her newest series and reshapes how Americans view the justice system, there's another element of her story that's impossible to ignore: her immense wealth. Judy Sheindlin isn't just a television icon, she's one of the richest figures in entertainment history. In 2025, her estimated net worth hovers around an astonishing $500 million, and her empire extends far beyond what fans see on screen. This chapter peels back the curtain on Judy Sheindlin's financial empire, how she built it, what she's done with it, and the extraordinary life it now affords her. Let's begin with the numbers. When Judge Judy began in 1996, it was just another syndicated court show, expected to live or die by the whims of daytime TV audiences. But thanks to Judy's sharp delivery, relentless logic, and unique charisma, the show exploded in popularity. Within a few years, it became a syndication juggernaut, with ratings that routinely beat talk shows, soap operas, and even prime-time programming. By the late 2000s, Judy had negotiated an unprecedented salary, $47 million per year. This wasn't just a fluke. It was a carefully crafted financial strategy. Judy owned the rights to her show's library, a rare privilege in the TV business. In 2017, she sold the rights to over 5,200 episodes of Judge Judy to CBS for a reported $100 million. The sale was a business masterstroke, converting future uncertainty into immediate capital. Her move to Amazon for Judy Justice in 2021 reportedly came with a $25 million annual paycheck, plus executive producer credit and significant creative control, and that was just the beginning. With Tribunal Justice and now Justice on Trial, Judy has multiple revenue streams, not only as an on-camera personality, but also behind the scenes as producer and intellectual property holder. She owns her own production company, Queen Bee Productions, through which she manages content, hires staff, and negotiates rights. She doesn't just star in shows, she builds them. But what does a $500 million fortune look like in real life? For Judy, it means having residences in multiple states. She and her husband, retired Judge Jerry Sheindlin, split their time between a lavish mansion in Greenwich, Connecticut, estimated at over $13 million, complete with a private lake and sprawling gardens, a $10+ million Naples, Florida estate where the couple retreats during the winter months, complete with luxury vehicles, a private dock, and full-time staff, a penthouse apartment in Manhattan, perfect for their frequent visits to New York City, a home in Beverly Hills, close to the Hollywood production studios where many of her shows are filmed. That's just the real estate. She also travels frequently via private jet, owns rare artwork and collectibles, and maintains a wardrobe of custom-tailored suits and designer accessories, all hallmarks of someone who has not just wealth, but elite taste and refined control over her personal brand. And yet, Judy doesn't flaunt her fortune the way many celebrities do. There are no viral videos of her popping champagne on a yacht or making grand entrances at Fashion Week. She is, in many ways, a paradox, one of the wealthiest women in media history, and one of the most private. Where Judy is most visible with her money is philanthropy. One of her proudest achievements is the creation of her Honor Mentoring, a program she launched in 2006 that pairs female high school students with successful female professionals. Judy has personally invested millions into the program, which now operates in multiple cities and has mentored thousands of young women. The goal is simple but profound: to provide the confidence, direction, and connections that so many young women lack. She's also funded law school scholarships, including major contributions to New York Law School, where she earned her law degree. She believes that financial access to education is essential to achieving justice, not just in courtrooms, but in life. Despite her incredible fortune, Judy remains financially conservative in certain ways. She has long spoken about her disdain for wastefulness and excessive luxury. In interviews, she's explained that she doesn't own 10 of anything, and her spending reflects efficiency and value. Even her negotiation tactics are sharp. In 2016, when CBS executives hesitated to meet her financial demands, she reportedly handed them an envelope. Inside, a resignation letter. CBS met her terms the next day. This level of financial confidence comes from more than just talent. It comes from deep knowledge of the business. Judy is a shrewd negotiator who understands her worth. She's always made clear that her name isn't just a brand, it's a guarantee of quality, performance, and viewer loyalty. In 2025, Judge Judy's empire continues to grow. Her production company is developing new concepts. Her shows dominate Amazon's freebie rankings, and her net worth climbs steadily, not just from salaries, but from investments, royalties, and residual rights, from reruns and licensed content. Still, her wealth isn't the central point of her identity. It's simply a reflection of how effectively she's played a game where very few women, especially women over 70, are allowed to dominate. She has never apologized for her earnings. In fact, she's often said that she hopes her visibility as a powerful, wealthy woman sends a message that value is earned, not inherited or guessed at. Perhaps what's most striking about Judy's financial story is that she never lost focus. She didn't cash in and retire early. She didn't get distracted by fame. Instead, she built a machine that continues to generate both wealth and influence, two forces she's long used to reinforce her personal mission: restoring respect for the law, empowering young women, and speaking plain truth to complicated problems. In the next chapter, we turn to Judy's voice, not in the courtroom, but in the cultural conversations shaping our time. We'll examine her recent statements on high-profile legal issues, her take on modern justice, and the moments when her blunt commentary has reignited controversy. Whether you agree with her or not, one thing remains true: when Judy Sheindlin speaks, people listen. Judge Judy Sheindlin has never been one to mince words. Her entire career has been built on her ability to say what others won't, and say it in a way that cuts straight to the heart of the matter. Whether she's laying down the law in her courtroom or offering her opinion on national television, Judy has always spoken with clarity, conviction, and unapologetic honesty. In 2025, that quality is more evident and more controversial than ever. Now in her 80s, Judy is no longer confined to the scripted environment of courtroom TV. She's transitioned into a cultural commentator, using her status to weigh in on some of the most divisive legal and political issues of the moment. And true to form, she doesn't hold back. One of the most talked-about moments this year came when Judy addressed the renewed interest in the Menendez brothers' case. As many will remember, Lyle and Eric Menendez were convicted in 1996 of murdering their wealthy parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, in their Beverly Hills mansion. Decades later, a wave of TikTok-fueled documentaries, viral social media threads, and online advocacy groups have recast the brothers as victims, painting them as two abused sons driven to desperate measures. In a candid interview on 60 Minutes, this year, Judy delivered a scathing rebuke to the growing support for the Menendez brothers. Justice was served. They weren't children, they were adults. They planned those murders and they covered them up. That's not a cry for help, it's premeditated homicide. Her comments went viral, drawing praise from those who appreciated her legal clarity and backlash from those who accused her of being out of touch with modern understandings of trauma. Judy responded, as she always does, with calm certainty. The facts don't change just because people discover empathy late. Her commentary wasn't limited to old cases. When the Supreme Court made headlines in early 2025 with several contentious decisions, one involving limitations on federal regulatory power and another regarding qualified immunity for police officers, Judy used her platform on Justice on Trial and various media outlets to speak out. She emphasized the importance of legal consistency and expressed concern about public trust in judicial institutions eroding due to politically charged decisions. People need to know that judges interpret the law, not rewrite it based on their personal feelings, she stated in a New York Times op-ed. When courts start making law instead of enforcing it, democracy starts to tremble. Judy's bluntness, as always, is part of what makes her compelling. In a media environment where many tiptoe around controversy or retreat behind legal jargon, Judy delivers plain talk that resonates with everyday people. She doesn't hedge, she doesn't spin. She says exactly what she believes, and she expects others to do the same. Not all of her public commentary is rooted in controversy. She's also become a passionate advocate for civics education, frequently lamenting that too many young Americans leave school without a basic understanding of how their government or legal system works. If you don't know what the Constitution says, how can you know when it's being violated? She asked during a recent guest lecture at Columbia Law School. You can't defend your rights if you don't know you have them. As part of her advocacy, she has partnered with several school districts and educational nonprofits to provide free digital curriculum modules based on Justice on Trial. These materials break down real legal cases and court decisions into student-friendly lessons, teaching not just legal history, but also critical thinking, argument analysis, and civic responsibility. She has also taken to public service announcements, short, hard-hitting messages that air between segments of her shows, often reminding viewers to vote, understand their legal rights, and participate in their communities. It's part of her broader mission to transform passive viewers into active citizens. Still, Judy hasn't abandoned her signature snark. In a 2025 appearance on The View, she was asked about celebrity legal scandals, specifically the growing trend of famous defendants evading serious consequences through high-priced attorneys and social media campaigns. Justice should be blind, Judy said. Unfortunately, in Hollywood, justice often wears designer sunglasses. Her critique of celebrity culture struck a nerve. Some viewers felt she was generalizing unfairly, while others applauded her for calling out a growing sense that fame and wealth can buy immunity. As always, Judy didn't back down. When people think fame equals innocence, they've confused popularity with truth. And those two things have never meant the same thing. Her public persona in 2025 is more multifaceted than ever. She is at once an entertainer, a legal analyst, a social critic, and a cultural icon. This blend makes her difficult to categorize and difficult to ignore. She's also been active in the ongoing conversation around artificial intelligence in the legal system, expressing caution about allowing algorithms to influence court rulings. Technology can help with research. It can't replace judgment. You don't teach compassion and justice to a machine. She's urged lawmakers to move slowly in adopting AI tools for sentencing, bail recommendations, or automated courtroom procedures. Her opinions have earned her both praise and protest. Yet even her fiercest critics admit one thing: Judy Justice engages people in legal and civic conversations in a way few others can. She makes law accessible. She makes it personal. And whether you agree with her or not, she makes you care.